and pray for the well-being of the all people. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. He has given most valuable instructions for the spiritual aspirants. We are sure to achieve the goal if we follow these teachings strictly. Well, it depends upon building up our strength in a proper way in order to fight all the negative forces challenging us in our daily life, every moment. Sri Ramakrishna, while talking with devotees, he said, there are two signs of knowledge. First, an unshakable buddhi, an unshakable intellect, clarity, conviction, understanding. No matter how many sorrows, afflictions, dangers, and obstacles one may be faced with, one's mind doesn't undergo any change. It is like the blacksmith's anvil, which receives constant blows from the hammer and still remains unshaken. And second, manliness, very strong grit. These are the most valuable teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. Each one is important if you have to achieve the goal in this very life. These are the words I just quoted, what Sri Ramakrishna has said. So, spiritual path, what is it that is required to have that unshakable intellect, to have that manliness and strong grit? In spiritual path, therefore, stability is very important. Then only struggling becomes successful. If you are stable while struggling, then you won't fall. On the other hand, you move very fast in your path. Stability, stability, stability. So I am going to speak on this subject, stability. You may have plenty of money. You might have great learning. You may have number of dear ones. You may have gadgets all around. You may have all kinds of insurance and so on. Yet, you need one thing which makes everything worthwhile and meaningful. Without that one thing, life becomes dreary in the extreme and impossible to carry on. That one thing needed is inner stability. Coming to the point, inner stability. You must meditate on this subject properly. Build up your life properly. Build up your personality. Qualify yourself properly to have the vision of God. Lord Krishna teaches in the Gita, chapter 6, verses 20 to 23. Yatro paramade chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyadi sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhigrahya matindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam sthidaschaladi tattvataha yallabdva cha param labham manyate nadikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkena guruna vichalyade tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. Yes. Said in these verses what stability actually is meant. The mind is restrained by the practice of concentration. It is freed from any anxiety. The person who is practicing spirituality with all seriousness, with all sincerity, love and devotion, he is satisfied in the Atman. He doesn't require things external to make him happy. He doesn't depend upon external things to become happy. He is sure happiness cannot be obtained externally. Whatever happiness you derive externally, they are temporary. They just show up and go away. And He doesn't stray from awareness of reality. He is always conscious, aware of the truth. And he is not shaken even by heavy sorrows. When a person has all these qualities in him, then you can conclude that such a man has inner stability. All these qualities you will find in a person who has attained inner stability. First of all, let us see of people who had attained that inner stability. Then we shall go to study the various aspects of the usefulness of stability and so on. So let us study some examples so that we become thoroughly clarified about the point which we are talking about. This particular incident which I am going to tell you now happened on the night on which Gautama, attaining illumination, became the Buddha. When he became awakened, he came to be known as Buddha. Buddha means awakened soul. But before attaining illumination, he had to pass through happenings which would have shattered a lesser person. Gautama withstood this because he possessed manliness. He had very strong grit, in the words of Sri Ramakrishna. He had just taken his seat under the bo tree with a firm resolve that even though his body might perish, he wouldn't leave his seat before attaining illumination. He was determined, he was unshaken in his resolve. Then came the severe test. Presently, there appeared Mara, the evil one. He came with his 3 most beautiful daughters to tempt Gautama. And he came along with host of demons. His sole intention was to dislodge Gautama from his seat and prevent him from attaining illumination. This is true with the case of all the saints and holy people. They have to pass through this severe test. In fact, it is said the gods try to push him towards the worldly things, showing all sorts of temptations. If he is unshaken, then he gets illumination. Same thing happened with respect to Nachiketas, a famous brahmacharyan, which we read in Kathopanishad. Swami Vivekananda was very fond of this Kathopanishad. That young lad was so powerful. Why he was so powerful? Because he practiced 100% celibacy. His whole mind was dwelt on the Supreme Brahman. He was intensely aspiring for the spiritual knowledge, spiritual illumination. He doesn't want anything other than that. He was not afraid of anything. He did not want anything. He just wanted only to know the truth. And who was his teacher? The death god. The god of death. He himself was his teacher. The god of death. Normally he is very ferocious to look on, because he drags his soul, because he is the supreme judge, Whoever does whatever good or bad, he accordingly gives rewards or punishment according to the deeds done by the individual soul. So, naturally, Yama was very strict and very strong person. But Nachiketas had gone there. It is not Yama pulling him towards him. Nachiketas himself went there. By his spiritual power, something happened. His father, in angry mood, he said, I am giving you to Yama. Yama is the god of death. Go to Yama. He said that, afterwards he repented. But Nachiketa said, no. Once he has said, it's my duty to follow. There is no question of taking back what you have told. People are very fond of telling one thing and taking back. Meaningless. Once you have told, it is done. Damage is done. Anyway, the boy went without any fear or anxiety, without thinking what would happen to him in future, etc. Simply went. But by the time he went there, Yama was not in the home. He waited there for 3 days. Yama came, returned to home, and he found Brahmachari standing at the door. He is the god of dharma. He should entertain the guest, whoever it is that comes to the home must be treated properly. So he immediately talked with him in a very tender voice and, well, my boy, I'm very sorry I was not here to attend upon you. Because of that fault, I am ready to give you 3 boons. Ask whatever you want. Anyway, I am coming to the point. The point was, I want to know the truth. Yama never expected that the boy would ask that question. He thought the boy would ask some enjoyment in the world. He wants some kingship or some position to enjoy the power, position. No, I want to know the truth. He began to cajole him in so many ways. He said, oh, don't worry, I will give you can live as many years as you want. You can have any comfort you want. I will not say no to anything you ask for. You will not be defeated by anyone. Everyone will obey you. You will have thousands of servants to serve upon you. Anything you want other than this, I am prepared to give you. But my boy, please don't ask that question. What will happen to the soul after death? Where does it go, etc. Why are you bothered about all those things, that philosophy? You are a boy, you can enjoy the world, you are still brahmachari. Like that. But he was unshaken. He was unshaken. He had all the qualities of manliness and strong grit. What Sri Ramakrishna said, I quoted in the beginning, he had all those qualifications, perfect. Who can shake him? Even Yama became powerless. He had to yield. He had to teach him. He had to become his guru. No way. And finally I accepted him very joyfully because he passed the test. He proved his stability. Are you stable? We come to spiritual life, we are so weak and we are so idiot, we behave in a stupid way. What is this nonsense? Take it seriously and live the life properly. Don't care for whether XYZ are like this, like that, etc. It is not your business to talk about anybody else. Your business is to talk about yourself only. Like that you have to live your life. Like that you have to build up your life. Become stable and strong. Everything will come and drop at your feet. That's the truth. He had just taken his seat under the boat tree with that firm resolve that he will not get up from this seat until and unless he got that illumination. So he never paid any attention to whatever that is happening around him. Then Mara tried all his methods. He threatened him with so many dreadful threats in order to arouse fear. He raised such a storm that the sky became dark, the ocean roared, and the earth trembled. But Gautama remained seated under the tree, unmoved, unaffected, and without trace of fear. So here you see what Sri Ramakrishna has said. He has possessed all these qualities. Manliness, strong grit, unshakable. Then finally Mara wanted to tempt him, so he sent his 3 tempting daughters to display their charms. But Gautam remained supremely indifferent. He didn't want to bother about anything. Finding that his daughters had failed to excite any desire in Gautam, then Mara ordered all the evil spirits at his command to attack Gautama simultaneously. But Gautam watched them as one looking on at the harmless games of children. All the fierce hatred of the evil spirits was of no avail. The flames of hell became wholesome breezes of perfume, and the angry thunderbolts were changed into lotus blossoms. Mara was stunned to see these things. Finally he thought he should not stay there anymore, otherwise he will be burnt down. Gautama's power of purity was such, nobody can dare come near him. From a distance he can do all sorts of gestures. They can never come near him because his power of purity was such. It was like a fire which can burn anything that comes near it. So finally he fled away with his host of evil spirits. And then a celestial voice was heard. These are all recorded in the Buddhist scriptures. Behold, the great ascetic, his mind is unmoved by hatred. The host of the wicked one has not overawed him. He is pure and wise, loving and full of mercy. As the rays of the sun drown the darkness of the world, so he who perseveres in his search will find the truth, and truth will enlighten him. This is one of the most inspiring examples of attained inner stability. This case of Gautama's remaining absolutely unmoved and unaffected under the most adverse outer circumstances. On the same night, after the victory over Mara, Gautama attained illumination and he became the Buddha. He became the Buddha. There are so many incidents all over the world, wherever the saints are there. To become a saint, you must have that inner stability. That's the point. Now let us take the example of Swami Vivekananda himself. He was touring in America. He was giving lectures wherever he visited the places. He came to a western town. Large number of university students and professors, they would come and attend to his talks. In the course of his lecture, Swami Vivekananda said that one who had realized the highest was equanimous under all conditions and was not disturbed by any outward influences. Swami Vivekananda was talking in that level. He gave the impression to the people there that he was one such person. Otherwise, he can't speak that way. People were all stunned to hear him talk that way in very clear terms. Then the cowboys there, they decided to put Vivekananda to the test. They invited him to the lecture to them. Vivekananda was glad to go and give a talk to them. He arrived. They escorted him to a wooden tub which they had placed with the bottom up to serve as a platform in the public square of their village. Now Vivekananda stood there. He commenced his address. He started. Immediately he became absorbed in the subject which he was talking about. Suddenly, there was a deafening noise of shots which went whizzing past his ears. Undisturbed, Swami Vivekananda continued his lecture to the end as though nothing was happening. He was not shaken by these shots. He was not shaken by any noise around him. When he had finished, the cowboys flocked about him and in their boisterous language they pronounced him a right good fellow. This incident has been recorded in Vivekananda's life. That is inner stability. Without that inner stability, would it have been possible for him to come to America? Without any friends, without money, without anything? That is a proof of inner stability. another incident. Today's talk is almost like introduction. In my next Tuesday class, I will elaborate on this subject, stability. After passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Brahmananda, here you have got just below Sri Ramakrishna, the first president of the Ramakrishna mission, very great soul. He remained immersed in the practice of various spiritual disciplines. He went to Vrindavan. There's a place called Kusum Sarovar. I had gone there to see that place. Very peaceful and solitary place. Swamiji went there and did spiritual sadhana. He stayed there for about a year. Now, he took a vow not to ask anyone for food or other necessities of life. He would not ask anything. He made a vow and started his meditation and other spiritual practices. What happened was, usually an unknown devotee would bring food to his door without his asking. But then there would be days when he had nothing. Once he was sitting in the hermitage in silence. A stranger came there. He laid a warm new blanket beside him because Vrindavan is very cold during the winter season, extremely cold. So, brand new blanket was placed there. Stranger, and he went away. Just he has gone, another stranger came by and took away that blanket. Swami Brahmananda just watched this, but he never moved. He smiled to himself, watching the strange play of the Divine Mother. There is another incident. Swami Chidananda, another great disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He is very strong, very determined, perfect model for stability. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, second chapter, the characteristics of a person of steady wisdom, sthita prajna. Chidananda was considered to be a sthita prajna. That is, man of steady wisdom. No calamity could ruffle his equanimity. That is his personality. Now an incident happened. Swami Brahmananda had an abscess on his hand. The doctor came and gave some treatment, but it still persisted. So finally the operation was to be done. Operation was suggested. Cut off the abscess on the hand. Abscess was giving pain, etc. Now, Swami Chidananda was to bring the doctor. He went. There was a famous doctor. His name was Dr. Kanjiya. Kanjilal, his name. So, he brought him. They were coming in a boat on the Ganges from Calcutta. The doctor was coming. So they were crossing Ganga by boat. when they were in the middle of the swelling river, suddenly there arose a frightening hurricane. I have seen when some such situations I have seen when I was in Belmont. The backwaters from ocean, because of the ebb tide and because of the tides, they come at particular day, every day, at particular time, it will come. Huge. It comes, see, the Ganga is running from north to south. So when the backwaters come, it is running from south to north in the opposite direction. What a tremendous force, what a height. The height of the wave is 18 feet. I have seen the boats, they topsy-turvy, they turn, they give signals. When they call, in Bengali it's called ban. Ban. When ban comes, they give signal. Be aware. Don't move. Keep the boat wherever you are. Like that they made all sorts of. Even in that, when the water is so rough, I have seen children jumping there and swimming and going high on the top of the wave. And I was stunned to see that scene. Anyway, so all the people there in the boat, they were all frightened. The boat was about to be capsized. Any moment it may be drowned because the force of the wind was so high, velocity. But there was one person in the boat who was unruffled. He was as silent as he was before. No reaction, no fear, nothing. Extremely calm. Swami Chidananda, he was like that. When people are gasping for breath to save their life, Chidananda was smoking from a hubble bubble. He continued to do so. He did not stop smoking the hubble bubble. He began to do it as if nothing happened. What is this? The thought didn't enter his mind. Simply smoking and enjoying his inner peace. But he was coming with the doctor. This was too much of a strain on the patience of the surgeon. He became very anxious. So what he did, he angrily seized the top of the hubble bubble and threw it into the water. And said to the Swami, "You are indeed the strangest of persons. The boat is sinking, but you are sitting and smoking?" Even though that Kanji was shouting like that, Swami Chidananda was cool. He did not react in a violent way. He just said, "Well, I thought I had better keep smoking, for it will be time for swimming only after the boat has actually sunk." This is inner stability. Now, the question is, why should we at all try to achieve inner stability? What purpose does it serve? It serves three fundamental requirements of life. I'm talking about stability. What are these three fundamentals? The first one, it saves us from being destroyed by the forces inimical to life, internal or external. Second fundamental requirement of life, it helps make life meaningful, sane and creative. Thirdly, it secures for us the boundless joy beyond the reach of our senses, grasped only by pure mind. In the very air of our times vibrates a challenge which must be taken serious note of. The language of this challenge is straight and simple. Achieve inner stability or get broken from within. Achieve inner stability or get broken from without. That is, find all your riches, learning, achievement becomes futile. Without inner stability, everything becomes futile. Any intelligent person who has no special fondness for getting destroyed, whether or not he works to get more money, learning and position, should try to achieve inner stability. For without inner stability, all the other attainments of life will become like ashes in the mouth. And when inner stability is attained, no matter what trials and tribulations, miseries and frustrations life may bring us, everything will pass by us like water off a duck's back. And we shall grow from strength to greater strength, even while passing through the waves of adversities. So, now probably we have understood the great importance of developing inner stability, which I am going to talk further in my next class. Page 556. The curtain rises. Nityananda is walking in a procession on the public road with his companions, chanting the name of Hari. He meets two ruffians, Jagai and Madhai, who are sworn enemies of all religious people. Madhai strikes Nitai with a piece of broken pottery. Nitai is hurt and bleeds profusely, but he pays no heed, inebriated as he is with the love of God. Sri Ramakrishna was in an ecstatic mood. Nitai embraces both Jagai and Madhai and sings a song to the two ruffians. Jagai, Madhai, oh, come and dance, chanting Hari's name with fervor. What does it matter that you struck me? Dance, dear friends, in Hari's name. Sing the name of our beloved. He will embrace you in love's rapture. Let the heavens resound with his name. We have not tasted true emotion. Weep as you chant the name of Hari, and you will see the moon of your soul. Hari's name would I lovingly give you. Nitai calls you to share his love. Nimai speaks to Shachi of his desire to enter the monastic life. His mother faints and falls to the ground. At this point, many in the audience burst into tears. Sri Ramakrishna remained still and looked intently at the stage. A single tear appeared in the corner of each eye. The performance was over. Sri Ramakrishna was about to enter a carriage. A devotee asked him how he had enjoyed the play. The master said with a smile, I found the representation the same as the real. The carriage proceeded toward Mahendra's mill. Suddenly Sri Ramakrishna went into an ecstatic mood and murmured to himself in loving tones, O Krishna, Krishna is knowledge, Krishna is soul, Krishna is mind, Krishna is life.
Well,
Just I want to know what is the meaning of soul, what you have understood. What is the meaning of soul according to you?
Well,
No,
sure.
what you have understood by what is the meaning of soul according to your understanding? Do you have any, do you know what exactly you mean? According to you, what I understand, soul is different, mind is different, is it not?
Yeah.
Then what is soul then? His
Explain.
point is, mind is just like any other instrument, hands and feet. It is an instrument only, it is a medium through which whatever you do is recorded there, they come up and show up, etc. And mind plays very important role in one's life. For some reason which are not known to us, the spirit becomes embodied, and because he is in the body, he behaves according to the whims and fancies of the mind and the senses. That means because of the identification with the body, mind and senses, the being becomes embodied. As long as the being is in that embodied state, he will have to suffer in one way or other. Suppose a being is in the form of a dog. Whatever the nature of the dog in general way, it behaves like dog. But suppose that being is in some other form. Suppose it is in the form of fish. It always floats in the water, it always roams in the water, it is always joyful in the water. It behaves that way as long as it is in that body. So, his behavior pattern depends upon the body which it occupies. In the same way, when the being occupies the human body, it acts in a human way, whatever the associations, tendencies are built up, accordingly the embodied being suffers. And the point is, whatever the body the embodied being assumes, embodied being means as long as you are identified with your mind, you are called embodied being. That embodied being is what is called soul. When you are disconnecting yourself with the mind, or in other words, when you are able to transcend, when you are able to rise above the level of the mind, then you are really in your own true nature of the spirit. When you are in the true nature, you feel immense peace and immense joy. That immense peacefulness and joyfulness is because of your dwelling in the proximity of the spirit, in the consciousness. So, when a person dies, though the physical body goes away, mind continues to live. Mind is called a subtle body. So, the subtle body goes along with the soul. So mind always comes with the soul. So whatever you do, good, bad, etc., 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 all those things, they come in the mind. They are stocked up to dance before you again. They keep on dancing. So you have to, by spiritual practices, you must be able to restrain the dancing of the mind, and you have to take steps to eliminate all the disturbing factors that come in your way to realize the spirit. So well, purity, right? You can ask for purity, no doubt. One way of prayer is asking for purity. Another way of purity, I am purity itself. Always think I am pure. Pure you will be. If you think I am sinful, I am idiot, I am stupid, constantly thinking I am idiot, you become idiot. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Always think you are pure. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am that eternal supreme spirit. That's the truth. Yeah. Grace of mind comes after you have made some progress in your spiritual practices. Grace of mind means what? Grace of mind means mind behaves as you want it to behave. That's the meaning of grace of mind. Yeah, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for that day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with his desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous reign tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the free make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.